Welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome again. My name is Dave. This is Vijay. We are with the Brahma Kumaris, Miami Brahma Kumaris, Raja Yoga Meditation. Please feel free to share our video. Every day there's a video, a conversation, a small class by every different teachers. And you can share them, you can like them. And today we, our, we're going to be talking about think right. But before we go into the topic of think right, I would want to appeal to everyone to follow the CDC direction because the COVID-19 here in Florida, especially in South Florida, Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade, have been increasing at a great level. We had 9,000 on Saturday. We had 8,500 today. So please wear your mask. Please use all the CDC recommendation so that we can be safe and find joy in our journey. So today we're going to explore think right. What does it mean to think right? Because when we think right, our inner beauty grows. When we think right, there's positivity. When we think right, there's happiness. When we think right, we are able to have compassion and love for everyone. When we think right, there's no discrimination. When we think right, we live in great hope. So Vijay, thinking right, what exactly does that mean?
Uh, um, that means we should think about thoughts. Have you ever thought about thinking?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Well,
Which
and
one
then
comes first?
I don't know which one come first. I thought maybe you went to thinking school to find out how to think right.
Well, I thought you went to thinking school because
Well,
I'm asking you the
I
question.
couldn't find any thinking school. I mean, there's a lot of school of thoughts on the matter, but what is a thinking school? I don't know. We never heard about that. We had all kinds of schools, but no thinking school.
So what does it mean to think right?
Um, I think I have my best thoughts early in the morning when I wake up at maybe 4, or some people wake up early anyway. Some people wake up later. But when I wake up very early and there is not yet any concern of the world, I mean, sometimes you sleep so deeply that you wake up and you don't even know where you are. So it is in that first half a second that I think you can think right. In other words, that is right thinking. And I feel that is what we have to do. We have to go to find the right me to see who can do right thinking, or what is that person who will think. Now, does thinking happen, or do you do thinking? Is thinking something you do, or is it something that happens?
Well, I thought the mind is where all thoughts originate, and I think the mind is like a thinking factory. It continually makes
Now,
thought.
if it's a factory, who is in charge of this factory? The
Oh,
factory of the mind.
well, that's another question. Who
That's
is
another
in
question.
charge? But thinking is an ability that we have. We have been born with that ability to think. But where did it change? Where did it we became influenced? How did we become influenced to think the way we are?
Yes, it is an ability, which in fact makes it a verb. It's something we do. And that means if we do it, we have a choice. We can do it this way or that way. It's a choice because something we do, so it's an ability. And the influences is something that comes from around the world. But even before we get to influences, I think the real influence is myself, and to understand really deeply who I am and what I am I beyond influences before I come into the world of influences. So, I think you have to spend some time with yourself to find out how to think, because right thinking is the thinking that is right for me, what works for me.
But so you're saying that it's important when you wake up in the morning, the first few seconds or minutes you should dedicate to your day, sow the seed for how you would like your day to shape.
I think that would be an excellent place to start. That when we wake up, the first thing we do is think right. That is, think according to what I want to think. Maybe the practice has to start right as we are about to come out the gate. Not even before we fully out the gate, but even as we are about to come out the gate of life each morning, is to consider, who am I, what is my purpose, what I want to do, what do I bring to the table, what is my stand on the matter, what is my principles, who do I want to remember to be remembered as. I think right starts with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you are the creator of your thoughts. You know, you are the one who generates your thoughts. You are the one who shapes it. You are the one who are influenced by it, by different things. And Vijay, as a businessman, uh, and you help run a business. How does your first few thoughts. What does it mean for you to think right in your business?
Well, before we get to the business, I really do try to close up the business at the end of the day. And I try, right now I am not in very active practice, but when I was, I did try to make sure that nothing goes until tomorrow. If there were things that were left, I would write it down or have somebody note it, so that it is not something I have to carry in my mind. So, in a way, the night before set the tone for the morning, for tomorrow, so that if I close up the day well enough today by writing down the things that is left that needs to be carried over, so I don't have to remember it or carry it in my mind, then it is more likely that when I wake up early in the morning, I can think right. But I must say, I believe it is a practice, it's an exercise, it's something that has to be done. It is not that thinking right happens. Thinking right is a choice that has to be made and exercised so that the power to think right improves over time, it develops. And that is best done in the early morning.
In the early morning.
Yeah, to get
So
started, as we
okay.
get started.
So what are you saying? We shouldn't look at our phone first thing in the morning to see who had sent WhatsApp messages.
Well, where do you keep
Who,
your phone?
but,
where
uh,
where do you keep? I don't even keep my phone in my room. My phone is outside the room, so
yeah,
I cannot look at my phone in the morning. In fact, I deliberately do that. I don't keep my phone in
you
the
don't
room.
keep your
No,
phone in
no,
your
no, no.
room.
I am not
So
that important. I don't have anybody who I must talk to, or I don't have any emergencies.
so you don't look at your phone at the end of the day, just or at the night in the middle.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. I do look at it to try to tie it up, to close up all things so that when I go to sleep, I go to sleep. I think, over the years, I feel you even have to learn how to sleep, learn how you close up your day so that your sleep is restful. In a way, in many ways, the night prepares the morning so that I try to make the room dark. I especially try to ensure that my room doesn't have a lot of clutter. I clear up things as much as possible, keep the counter clear, and definitely put the phone outside.
okay,
Outside. So I clear up the phone at night and then put it outside.
so
And,
the
note down
mhm.
everything that I have to note down. So it's in a book rather than on my mind.
Okay. So what you're saying that you don't want to be influenced by too many external things which is happening, because people in the middle of the night, early morning, wee hours of the morning. They will send you a Facebook
I
something.
hear it binging. I hear it pinging. I try to ignore it.
Because we are influenced by so many things in the day. We are influenced by social media. We are influenced by the news, what's happening. And one thing about the news which is really um, something to think about is that every time you go to listen to the news, they never report the great things which is happening in the world, the good things which is happening. The news is about the sad things and the bad things. And when a lot of people before they go to bed, listen to news, and that influences their sleep because they unconsciously they start thinking in a particular way how the news shape those thoughts. So we want you what you're saying that you gotta clear your thoughts, clear the day before
Yeah.
you go to bed, so that when you wake up in the morning, those few minutes that you have, it's like a clean slate where you can shape what how you want to think.
Yeah, definitely. The news really disturbs sleep, and many times I think you dream. You dream. Your dreams even are influenced by the news. But you know something to note is that the news media is not your friend. The news people are not trying to inform you. They are looking for business. They are really trying to sell advertising. So they are trying to be popular. They are trying to have big numbers.
Well, some of our journalist friends may not agree with you.
No, they're not trying to influence you. Even though the journalists would really try, have a pure heart and want to influence. But the news media, in order for that company to remain in business, they have to sell. So they have an agenda. Their agenda is to sell. In other words, you are a product, you are a customer, you are not a friend, you are a customer. So if it works for you, fine, like any other product, if it works for you, make use of it, but don't let it use you. In other words, you should be influencing what news you want to listen to and not let the news influence you. And the news is always exciting. It has always been exciting. But life is not about excitement only. So to think right is to think about what really deeply you want from inside, which I say the news doesn't have to inform you about that. I don't think you'll get the answer in the news. Or maybe we have been looking for the answer in the news, and that's why we are where we are.
Yeah, like we can see the result of thinking right. The result, some of the result of thinking right, is is no anxiety, no worry, because worry and anxiety is a negative state of mind. Because first, in order to think right, you have to fix the mind, remove anxiety from the mind, you remove worry from the mind, remove stress from the mind. And we all have tough days sometimes, and sometimes it's difficult to remove something which is happening in your life out of your mind. But the practice of finding joy in your journey is just to stop for a minute or few minutes a day, or at the beginning, as Vijay is suggesting, that the first few minutes of your day, put that seed, sow that seed in there, and water it with positive thoughts so that your day becomes fruitful. There's no worry, there's no guilt, there's no mistakes, and you're able to share positive energy throughout the day. So Vijay, when like my in my job, I it's I at the beginning of the day, I have to see some of the challenges because I have a very challenging job as a project manager. I have several projects going on at the same time, and we have to meet budget, time constraint. We have to meet deadline. We have to keep it moving. We cannot stop the projects. Uh, And sometimes that's heavy on my mind when I wake up in the morning. So how do you think I could, deal with that?
I think you made a good point earlier about the state of the mind, that the mind must be at full energy, it must be rested, and it must be relaxed in order for it to perform at its best. And so that happens best with a good night's rest. So if we really do put on the news at night and do things in the night just before sleeping that creates excitement, it is not how to get a good night's rest. Probably we need to learn or get involved in the art of winding down at the end of the day so that you are able to go to sleep and get a good full night's rest. Having gotten that, then in the early morning you wake up, and before you get into the job, before you start to think, we should really think right. That is, think about what is right for me, what is my own value, what is my own virtues, what did I come in this world with, what is my own strengths, so that that could be uppermost in mind. It could be reviewed, it could be strengthened, it could be focused, it could be sharpened, and then we come into the day. Now, when you have to do with your job, some organizing is required. So let me first of all say that you do have a stressful job, but I have never met anybody whose job is not stressful. Everybody's job is stressful. So that when you have to look at the job, I think a little organization would help. So you just do first things first. The problem is many people do what they like to do as far as the job is concerned, and not what they should do. So they do the things that is easiest to do first, the thing that makes them feel okay, that is popular, that is well rehearsed, and not necessarily the right things. And that there might be important thing that needs to be done, but we keep putting it off because it's not easier, because it may be unpleasant. So one of the
Hmm.
ways to solve that stress of the job is to do the right things first. In other words, do first what needs to be done first, not
Okay.
what you would like to do, not what is popular
Well,
or what is easy.
in project manager and management, sequence of events, putting stuff in sequence is very important. You know, so finding joy in your journey. Let's start thinking right. And there's so much to talk about on the subject, and I think we would have to continue it next week as we go deeper into the processes and the formula for think right. And as we find joy in our journey, let's pause here and have Vijay do a meditation commentary on setting the stage for that day during the first minutes after waking up in the morning so that you can sow the seeds to have a positive and proper frame of mind so you can think right. So, Vijay, let's do a meditative
So can
approach.
we imagine then that we are at the beginning of the day, that I have just woken up, and before getting into the activities of the day, I sit somewhere, not the bed, it's more likely we'll fall asleep if you sit on the bed. So I sit somewhere, not the bed, a chair, take a few deep breaths, maybe a stretch or two before, then a few deep breaths, allow the mind to relax, and feel the self. Who am I? I let the thoughts relax into the center of the forehead. I picture the sun that is about to rise at the dawn of a new day. Who am I? A child of God, a thinking being, let the thoughts come slowly. And I feel my own peace, my silence, my tranquility. Om Shanti. So those are the type of thoughts we have. You can do it for a longer time, but that is the direction we want to go.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you all very much. Please like and share our video. We are also on YouTube channel, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful week until next week, and we'll see you again. Thank you. Good night.